Well, good morning, folks. It's Saturday, April the 29th, about 8 o'clock. I had put my minnows out last night after getting there just in time as those guys were pulling my minnow trap out of the water. I told you there would be people either stealing it or running it if I wouldn't. And I almost didn't come over there last night and pick it up. I was sitting on the couch and it got about 8 o'clock. I said, no, I'll just get it in the morning. And something told me to get up. So I did. And I went over there and sure enough, he had just pulled it out of the water. So anyway, so I don't know if I have any luck or not. You know, I got a boat, it's got all the electronic stuff on it, but I'm one of those guys that's, if they're not fishing, I'm gonna be doing biting. If they're not biting, I'm gonna be doing something else. And sometimes you go through a lot of trouble putting your boat in and fishing spots, fishing that spot, not catching anything. And this works for me for right now. All right, well, I'm here. I'm gonna get my minnow trap up. My minnow trap's right down there, floating in the water, waiting on me. So I'm gonna get this thing baited up and get it in the water, see what happens. Well, I've been here almost a little over an hour or so. Did not get one bite. I think I used maybe 3 or 4 minnows. Lost one to some brush, but the rest of them just died on the hook. So I'm going to see, I've got a couple of things I want to get done. I may come back this afternoon around 2 o'clock or so and see if it changes. But anyway, so I'm done for right now. Well, I'm sitting in my backyard. It's almost 11 on Saturday morning. The fishing was uneventful. And I've been up to the property to do a few things. And I decided I was going to wash the floor on my basement garage. And my boat was in there, so I took my boat out and took it over to the property, and I've got some other stuff I got to get up off the floor before I can wash it. In addition, oh, they're framing on the house down there. My shed floor, I want to clean it up, and I got a bunch of dirt, pre-emergent and stuff like that laying on the floor. I want to get that up off the floor, so I'm going to make me some shelves about I don't know, probably 5 or 6 feet high, and get those up off the floor. I may even make a shelf for my fuel, my 5-gallon fuel jugs. They are mainly diesel because I have a diesel mower, and then when I rent equipment, they require diesel, so I have quite a few. I got about 25 gallons of fuel I can buy at one time, and I've got 100% gas for all my other things that I use around here, mowers and chainsaws and etc. But anyway, that's what I think I'm going to do this morning for a little while. But before I get started, I'm going to continue on with part 2 of my popcorn. I've got just a little left in the bag, and I got me a soda, and I'm going to sit here in the nice air and eat my popcorn and drink my soda and then hit the shed. All right, here we go. Well, hello folks. Today is May the 3rd. It's almost 1:30, 1:45 in the afternoon, and I have just got back from taking my generators over to a guy. Put 2 new carburetors on, and they wanted to surge while they're idled, and they had to have the choke full open. Brand new carburetors. So I took them over to a guy. We adjusted the valve on that one, the intake and exhaust manifold, exhaust valves, and then we took this little vacuum hose off. Whoa! I just tilted the trailer. Took the vacuum hose off of the choke, and it ran smooth. So there's something going on with the choke. We adjusted the intake valve on this one, and it still wanted to do a surge. It's not quite as bad, so there's something going on with the choke. I may take that apart and just take the little choke assembly off and see how well it runs without that. But anyway, I just got those back, so fixing to head over to the property. I'm going to till the ground up a little bit, water some of my plants I've got going on over there, and I planted some flowers and stuff. I watered them just about every day, but I'm getting pretty close to putting down some alfalfa in that one clear space, and so I'm going to get over there and try to get that prepped and get ready to put that down one day this week, maybe Friday or Monday. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, got that door open. Catch up with you over at the property. Okay, it's been very windy and cool over here last 3-4 days. The wind's kind of held back now. I think all that is moving out. The temperature is going to start coming back up. It's going to be in the 70s tomorrow, which is good. And then next week, the first part of the week, is going to be in the low 80s. So it's really going to give a boost for my vegetable garden, the heat wise. The wild onions are the onions are beginning to come up. They were not like that about 2 days ago. They've begun to get some stems on them. That one right in there. They just popped up overnight. My tomato plants are staying healthy. They don't look like they're growing much, but I think that's due to the heat. And then my basil that I put out around to fight bugs and everything, that's struggling right now. So maybe the heat will help that come along. But I'm fixing to crank up the tiller and till this up one more time, because one day next week I'm going to start planting some stuff in here, and we'll talk about that later. So I'm going to crank the tiller up, till this up. Then I got to go to got my water. I can go to the front of the property, front of the gate, and water all the flowers and stuff I have planted. And then I'll come back and I'll work on the clearing over here. Probably going to rake that a couple more times and get ready to plant that in alfalfa. All right, here we go. Okay, that didn't take too long. The soil, that sawdust and stuff that I added really helped keep it loose and keep it breaking up. Still, I don't think there's any, even though I put fertilizer down, I don't think there's still a lot of nutrients in the soil. It's going to take, maybe next year before I can get it going, but I'm still going to plant something and see how well it does in here. But I got it tilled up, and now I'm going to go water my flowers at the front of the gate, and then get to the next thing. Okay, we're going to take a look at some of the flowers I planted. They're somewhat under stress because some I pulled up from my house and some I bought. So when you put them in the ground, it usually stresses them, and so I'm trying to keep them watered. That one right there is one of them. It's doing a little bit faring a little better than some of the others. The others got some yellow leaves on them, but I expected some stress out of them. So I'm keeping them watered. I don't know what these are called. but they put on a little flower, bellflower, and they'll drop seeds all over the place, and it's a kind of a wildflower, and it will grow. That is lantana. That's supposed to not come back, but it comes back every year at our house. So I decided to plant some here to see if they would do the same. I've got a gold, a white, and a red, and those will get pretty good size, but I got to keep them watered, keep them stressing out, and hopefully they will survive. On the other side of the gate, I've got basically the same thing, except for a couple of other flowers. This right here is some type of variegated flower, and that will come up as well. It's kind of under stress, and so there's some lantana, and there's one that's trying to struggle. There's lantana right there, and some more. This one looks like it's holding up pretty good. I'm thankful for that. Here's a purple cannon. I'm not sure what the difference is, that we had come up. We moved most of them, gave them away. That came up at the house, and I decided to transplant that. I have cannons along the bank here. They begin to sprout and come up, so I've been watering them, and they look like they're beginning to show some life, and they'll do a little bit better as the heat comes on up. Alrighty, I'm going to get to it and get them watered. Well, this is how the clearing looks right now. You can see a lot of rocks that I missed. I probably will have to go around and pick those up. There's a lot of them. Holy cow. I did not get back over here and rake them into little piles and pick them up with my pitchfork like I said I was going to do. Other things got in the way. So I think what I'm going to do is I've got some fertilizer that I'm going to put down, and I'm going to get that down, and then I'm going to put the U-channel weights on there, and I bought these cinder blocks over to add more weight, and I'm going to hook it on my truck and just drive around and around and trying to get these tines just to break up a little bit deeper, so that when I get ready to plant my alfalfa, hopefully it will be deep enough for it to cover up. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I got my fertilizer all loaded up in my spreader. It's just some 2902 fertilizer, so I'm going to try that. All right, I'm going to get to that. Alrighty, I got the U-channel back on the hair, and I've added the cinder blocks. I've got it hooked up to my truck, and I'm going to make some sweeps around here and see if I can get that fertilizer turned under, or at least some of it, and maybe I'll get up some more rocks and roots. Okay, we can get to that. Well, I got the alfalfa seed down, run the four-wheeler hair over it, and I assume it's right below the surface. Then I decided, well, I've got some water down here. I had about 200 gallons in a tank, and so I started spraying it. I don't know if it's supposed to wet it so it will start germinating, or I've never planted alfalfa before, but so I went down to the lake and got some more water. I got about 550 gallons. I'll probably put about 275 on this and just see what happens. So let's get that started. Well, I guess I ran out of gas. That's enough for right now. We'll see how this does. I'll watch it. It's supposed to take 7 to 10 days to germinate. So we'll see what happens. Alrighty.